I never imagined that a simple disagreement over household chores would mark the downfall of my marriage. My name is Ethan, I'm 37, and I've been married to Rachel for 8 years. We weren't flawless, but I believe we were steady, until recently. Lately, Rachel had become fixated on this idea of equal energy, a phrase she picked up from her new work friends. Every talk we had somehow circled back to how I didn't match her vibe, whatever that was supposed to mean. At first, it was subtle. She'd roll her eyes when I came home exhausted from a long day at the construction site. She'd make light jokes around her friends about how I was emotionally unavailable. I laughed them off at first, but each one left a mark. Then one Friday evening, things changed. Rachel stood in the kitchen, arms crossed, her voice calm but rehearsed. "Ethan," she said, "if you can't start living more intentionally, journaling, meditating, matching my energy, then maybe we shouldn't be together." I thought she was joking and chuckled. "You're saying I need to start journaling or lose my marriage?" She didn't even crack a smile. Her eyes were like glass. "I'm serious," she said. "I want a man who's emotionally evolved." Something inside me broke a little. I'd been working overtime for months to cover the mortgage after she quit her job to find herself. I cooked when she was too tired, listened when she cried about her coworkers, and still, I came up short. I tried to stay calm. "Rachel," I said gently, "I don't need affirmations to prove I love you. I show it by showing up." She shook her head. "You just don't get it, Ethan. I want more." That night, I slept on the couch, hoping she'd cool off. Instead, the next morning, she doubled down. There was on the fridge a neatly printed and taped list titled Rules for Emotional Alignment. It included things like daily gratitude journaling required, no negative talk before 10 a.m., and my personal favorite, evening energy check-ins. It was absurd, but for the sake of peace, I went along with it for a week. Each night she'd ask, "How's your energy today?" I'd mumble that I was tired, and she'd sigh, disappointed, like a teacher grading a lazy student. Then came the breaking point. It was Saturday morning. I was fixing the leaky kitchen sink when she stormed in, phone in hand. "You didn't fill out your gratitude list yesterday," she snapped, shoving the screen in my face. "Rachel," I said, tightening the wrench, "I was fixing the pipe that's been leaking for 2 days." She glared. "So the pipe matters more than emotional growth?" That was the moment something inside me went still, like the silence after a storm. I stood up, wiped my hands, and said quietly, "If your version of emotional growth means policing me, maybe we should actually test your theory about being apart." Her eyes widened. "Are you saying you want a break?" "I'm saying," I replied, "if you want a man who journals more than he works, maybe you should go find him." She gasped as if I'd struck her. "You wouldn't dare." But I did. I packed a small bag, drove to my brother's, and didn't call for 3 days. When I came home, the house was spotless, too spotless. Rachel sat on the couch, phone in hand, pretending she didn't care. "I thought some space might help," she said casually. "Did it?" I asked. She shrugged. "I realized I can't live with someone who won't grow with me." "Then you should leave," I said evenly, no anger, just finality. Her jaw dropped. "You're kicking me out?" "I'm giving you what you asked for, space to find your evolved energy." That's when she broke down, crying hard, voice trembling. "Ethan, I didn't mean it like that. I just wanted you to take me seriously." "I did," I said softly, "but you turned our marriage into a checklist." She grabbed my arm, desperate. "Please don't do this. We can fix it." I looked at her, the woman who once laughed at my terrible jokes, danced barefoot in the kitchen, and fell asleep on my shoulder during movies. This version of her spoke in buzzwords and ultimatums, somewhere between a self-help podcast and a trend. She'd replaced love with performance. "I loved you when you were real," I whispered, "but I can't compete with whatever version of yourself you're chasing now." For a second, I thought she'd yell. Instead, she just whispered, "You'll regret this." I didn't. Over the next week, she packed her things. Every day, more of her crystals, vision boards, and notebooks disappeared. The silence felt good again, natural, peaceful. Friends called me heartless. My mother said I should have tried harder. But they hadn't seen the way she'd started looking at me, like I was a project that had failed. A month later, Rachel texted, "I miss you. I realize I went too far." I typed a reply, stared at it, and deleted it. Some lessons don't need words. Last week, I ran into one of her old coworkers at the grocery store. Apparently, Rachel's been telling everyone I wasn't emotionally evolved enough for a strong woman. I actually laughed right there between the cereal boxes. The truth was simpler. I just stopped letting ultimatums define love. Sometimes I replay that night in my head, the way she stood in the kitchen, certain she was in control. She thought her ultimatum would scare me into submission, that I'd beg to stay. Instead, it set me free. Looking back, I see the irony. She wanted growth, and she got it, just not in the way she expected. I learned that love isn't measured by affirmations or gratitude lists. It's measured by respect, by choosing each other even when it's hard. The day she left with her boxes, I felt something lift inside me. Not relief from her, but from the constant pressure performed for someone else's ideal. People say marriage is about compromise, but it's really about alignment. The genuine kind. The kind where two people grow together, not in opposite directions. Rachel's ultimatum was meant to wake me up. Instead, it revealed her truth, the one she couldn't face. And as for me, I finally learned that peace doesn't come from matching someone's energy. It comes from protecting your own.